Hey guys, Luke here, and welcome back to episode 24 of the Warriors Career Mode Season 2. I always get that, like, the intro stuffed around, like, I can't get it right. Preferably it'd be like, I think I've talked about this before, that you get the Season 2 and then the episode number, but I always forget to do it. I know I'm gonna, like, when I go to start, I'm like, alright, say this, blah, blah, blah. And then, when I go to do it, it just doesn't come out right. So, yeah, while the loading screen's happening, I'll take the time to ask for a like. 15 is what we're going for. Hopefully we can hit that number. And very much appreciated if you can. And make sure you leave comments and stuff. And subscribe to the channel. 550 is pretty close. So, Panthers, I can't bother looking at the lineup. Let's get into the game. So, last episode, I talked about, you know, drugs and alcohol and that sort of stuff. Hopefully it went down pretty okay. I don't expect everybody to agree with me by any means. But at the same time, hopefully there just wasn't hate for the sake of being hate. But at the end, I was saying how I was going to talk about something else, and that thing, it's not, well, I suppose it is drugs and alcohol actually, but this thing that sort of hit home to me. So big wrestling fan growing up, and then Johnson. There we go. Johnson could have scored himself. So yeah, big wrestling fan growing up. Okay, when did I start? So maybe first time I saw it was about 2002, 2003-ish, when I was at my uncle's, and always stuck in my head was, I don't even know if this was real, because like I haven't been able to see the clip at all or anything, but for some reason in my head, it's a girl was put into like Walls of Jericho or something, and that's like stuck in my head, and I was like, oh my god, it's wrestling. But then, obviously that was like, obviously this wasn't the reason why I watched it. I'm not that sadistic, but yeah, that's like the first memory I have of it, which is really a weird one. But yeah, I remember watching it and being like, oh yeah, this is a cool show. And then I've got like a video of it from like you can rent them from the video shops. So I used to do that every weekend, but I'd always rent the old ones. Go for 40-20. It looks pretty good. I think we kicked it from inside. We did kick it from inside. Was that Kevin Locke or Johnson? So yeah, the short sub should be able to score here pretty quickly. And there we have it. Fishy scores in the corner. What a contrast compared to the other game, the Titans one, where we couldn't score. Maybe things are just finally clicking for us again. Yeah, with the wrestling stuff, I used to hire old ones. I'm gonna say when like Kane and Undertaker were like feuding in that way, like when Kane first started, that was about the time frame where I used to hire them, because you get weeklies, and I used to just watch them all the time, because it was at the time where I was, you know, developing a like for it. Who's my favourite? Can't remember. Triple H was my favourite, and Trish Stratus was my favourite girl, for obvious reasons. And if you can't tell, look her up. And then, I don't know, Triple H, I grew out of him or something, I don't know. And then I end up moving on to Chris Benoit. So, and Rob Van Dam. But yeah, Chris Benoit is what I want to talk about. So, if you're unaware, you might want to, Wikipedia or something is pretty interesting, I suppose. Pretty heartbreaking for me, really. At the time, he wasn't really my favourite, but you know, you still have your favourites, and he was one of them. At the time when it happened. Come on, Kevin Locke, get it down. So, what happened? I think it's called like the Benoit tragedy, is what it's, I suppose, what it's called. It was a double murder suicide, and Chris Benoit killed his family, and by his family I mean he killed his wife and his son, who was 8, I think, 7 or 8, and then killed himself over a period of like 3 days or something. And he was supposed to go and win a world title, like one of the nights he killed them, but he didn't turn up, obviously, because he was, you know, killing his family, going insane. And you know, it's debatable, like what is the reason for it? And you know, there'll never be a reason. Left no suicide note. Like they said that he choked out his wife and then drugged his kid and then killed him while he was asleep. From all reports, Benoit was like, you know, he was a really good person out of wrestling, like he's a really good family man and all that, which makes it just so weird that, you know, it would end like that. But like, how old was I? It's 2007, 2014 now, I'm 19. 19 minus 7, so I was like 12, 11, 12, 13, 11. It was 11 or 12. Oh yeah, I was last. Why didn't I kick it? What am I doing? Oh, we got a big lead now. Yes, a 12-year-old me, like, my dad comes and hands me the paper and was like, oh, look at this guy's dead. But at the time they hadn't realised that he killed his family, I don't think. Or maybe they did, I can't remember. But I remember like just being in shock. And then like a few years earlier, Eddie Guerrero died, and like I wasn't the biggest Eddie Guerrero fan, but I definitely was a fan. And like that was like really sad. But then like to have this happen, like 2 people in like 2 years, like killing me, man. Like it was really heartbreaking. And I think that's kind of where like my real like for wrestling ended. Now I've said it before, like I still keep up to date with it, but I don't really I'm not like a huge fan. I watch it every week and have to see the pay-per-views and stuff. I don't have the network, that sort of stuff. I suppose I'm like a casual fan because it's hard to just drop things completely. Same way as when I say like rugby league. Sometimes I say I'm not an NRL fan. I'm more of a Bulldogs fan. That's probably the same sort of thing. Like there's individuals that I still care about, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's good. Biggest one is like Randy Orton's been my favourite since like 2004, 2003ish, and like he's still there. So when he's like going good, I like to watch that. But apart from that, I'm not really a big fan of the new people. But yeah, back to like the Benoit thing. It was just like it was in shock, and then this goes back onto the drugs and alcohol thing because I think he it was known that he was taking steroids. I think at the time, or I think it was pretty obvious just from I don't know, just from the shape of his body, or whatever. Like he had like one of the sickest bodies like I've ever seen, and that sounds super gay, but like if you know you can like admire that like someone has worked really hard on that. But like it just didn't seem right. Like it seemed too big for his size. So like you think it had to be like steroids or something. And I think he might have had alcohol. No, he didn't have alcohol. But anyways, what ended up happening is just like his head was like so like his head was like mush from all concussions and shit, which you know that's starting to be a focus point in the NRL now, and I'm surprised they haven't actually brought. Oh, they're gonna no, they're not. I'm really surprised they haven't brought that up, to be honest. Be like, oh well, you know they've done this. They've bring up NFL players who've done it, and I suppose it's probably because wrestling's a lot different. But yeah, back to like the drugs and alcohol, and the whole thing of them being like, oh well, it's not their go, that sort of stuff. Well, from all reports, like this Benoit thing wasn't his go either, and yeah, it happened, and nobody could see the signs from what they all said, which I also find a little bit. Oh, please bounce! No, please bounce. Didn't bounce. Oh, it's right in half time. It should be alright. And a big hit to end the game. Lock and Coot heading back to Sydney, I think. So I've just talked major shit for the whole first half. And I don't really think I've talked that too much, to be honest. The Benoit thing, I'm sort of going around in circles, I think. But yeah, just try, I don't know, what I'm trying to say is like, it's a pretty good example of you don't really know what's happening sometimes. Even like the closest people like that you travel with all the time and all that sometimes they just can't see it. And you know that's where I can also see the other side, where the parents of this girl who's died, where they can say, oh well, it's not her go, and you know the shooters and stuff, because I don't know, sometimes people are just really good at hiding it. Let's face facts. I mean, I've hidden plenty of things. Obviously there's probably some traits, and you know what, there was stuff with Benoit thing. I mean, I think his wife took a restraining order on him at some stage, so you know there's that. So he couldn't have hidden it too well, but for the most part he hid it. And that's probably the same with this girl. People, like around her parents and stuff, she probably wasn't all drugged up, but when she'd go to festivals and stuff, you know, that would happen. And I'd say it happens with a lot of people. They're just fortunate enough to have not died. Alright, come on. Alright, so that's enough of that, all that drug talk and all that, because, you know, I'm delving into things where I don't really have too much of a knowledge on. It's just something I felt like talking about, and, you know, it takes a little bit of time in the videos. And also it can get you involved in your thoughts and that sort of stuff. And I don't know, if you're a wrestling fan at all, leave your thoughts on the Benoit situation. My personal theory on what happened is that in like a fit of rage, because he was like so like messed up in the head at the time, in a fit of rage he killed his wife, and then he sort of came to realizing, oh shit, I've killed my wife. What the hell do I do now? I don't want to go to jail. Don't want to do this. My reputation's ruined. Blah blah blah. Come back to his senses, because they said he had a brain that resembled Alzheimer's. Now there seems to be a thing that people think, you know, oh well, he doesn't actually have Alzheimer's, so like what's the go? The key word is he resembles an Alzheimer's. Like he didn't actually have Alzheimer's, so he's not going to have all the traits of an Alzheimer's patient or whatever. But yeah, so he killed his wife, and then like I think he waited a whole day, or at least he waited a fair amount of time, and then he put his kid to sleep. And I think sort of like a mercy kill. He probably thought it was the best thing. I think his kid might have had some problems as well. I don't know the exact details, but yeah, he killed his kid while he was asleep, and the fact that he drugged him to put him to sleep and then did it showed him that he still had some sort of caring for him. There might be like a really weird way of thinking about it as we end up scoring. That was super lucky. A little bit surprised how we ended up scoring that. I was trying to get out to Marnie, but it just wouldn't go. But yeah, like it seemed like he still had some sort of care. And then for the kid, the fact that it wasn't a cold-blooded killing. I don't think the kid, although in saying that, like killing a kid, that is pretty cold-blooded any way you want to put it. So don't get me wrong. I know it's a bad thing. I know everything that happened was super bad, and don't try and twist my words to say that like I think it's okay what happened, because I definitely don't think it is. Totally agree with him not getting mentioned and stuff all the time. Obviously, like sometimes you see people who are like, oh, but he's so good in the ring, and it's like, but he killed people, and you don't really want to promote a killer, especially someone who kills his kid. Not a good look for a business. Imagine if do you think if Sonny Bill killed his family, and like his wife, kid, everything, do you reckon if he did that, Channel 9 would be like, he'd be Channel 9's poster boy? They probably would not even talk about him at all. So yeah, I'm not sure where I'm going with this. Sort of talked about what I can. If Mansell makes a big run. I know I was talking about something, then I got sidetracked. So maybe we'll just finish the video, hopefully. We'll just get through it. Oh, they're getting through. Carrington. Just went for the big hit, and Hoffman didn't work out, but that's okay. Oh yeah, my theory. Oh my god, what the hell is happening? Mossy Masoi put some big hits on in the Smile Australian game. Too bad didn't work out for them. He's going for an intercept there. Want to get the 40. Not going to happen by the looks of things. But what a bounce back we've had. We've had a pretty shitty few weeks. Knew they were going to Lattimore or that side again, but they just waited a little bit. Maybe they knew I was going to intercept it. Yeah, so back to my theory. So yeah, now he's killed the kid, and now he's like, alright, I've got nothing left, kill myself. But it's a little bit strange, because people saying he left the house and all that sort of stuff. I think it just shows how crazy he was at that time. So yeah, I don't know how I sort of got that into the whole drugs and alcohol argument sort of thing, 'cause, I mean, it's fairly different, I suppose. Not, like, there was drugs and alcohol involved, but I don't think that was the main culprit. But yeah, I thought it was worth talking about, even if it sort of doesn't delve into the last episode like I thought it would. But, you know, it was interesting to talk about. It took up the whole episode, so that's good. And it's something to talk about rather than just me talking about the game. And as you saw, I relaxed a lot more, and I was able to score 36 points to 0. A great victory. I didn't see who was man of the match. I didn't look. To be frank, I don't really care. If I had to pick, probably Locke or someone. Johnson. I don't know. Fisher, he scored a few tries, maybe him. We'll go with Johnson. Who in the comments, who was your man of the match? So I can't remember. I can't really remember. Watching it back's probably easier to tell who was the star players, whatever. So let's look at the other results. Did the Bulldogs win? They did win, and they beat the Rabbitohs. It's redemption. Well, not really, but you know what I mean. wow, what a fight back from the Sharks. Last time I checked, like the proper ladder, which was, I don't know, like 4 or 5 games ago, whatever, I was planning on taking the Sharks, like resting my players, because they were coming last, but looks like they're not anymore. So yeah, this is where we're going to leave the episode. I suppose I'll look at the ladder. I forgot to do that, but we'll leave it here on the ladder. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you can leave a like. 15 is what we're going for, and make sure you leave your comments and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.